Today I'm going to show you how to take a multicolored image and put it into Inkscape to convert it to an SVG file that will then go into your Cricut Design Space software so that you will be able to cut it. This particular Believe file has been fairly popular this year with Christmas shirts, and so I'm going to use this particular image. I didn't want to just take an image off the internet, so I recreated this one using images that I actually have licenses to use within Design Space, and then saved it as a PNG file by doing a screenshot so that I can import it into Inkscape. So this is what we're going to be recreating. So once you have your image of whatever it is you're going to do on the internet, you just go to Inkscape. Inkscape is a free download that you can get off of the internet, and it is fairly similar to Adobe Illustrator. You can do a lot of the same things that you can do in Illustrator. So you're going to go to File, then you're going to go to Import, and then this is the screenshot from my computer from Design Space, so I'm going to hit Open and leave all these default settings the same and hit OK. And so now the image is inside of Inkscape. So in order to get it to go to an SVG file or to convert to an SVG file, you go to Path, and then you're going to go to Trace Bitmap, and you're going to click on Multiple Scans, and then use the pull-down menu to change it to Colors. And I have it to do 8 scans. You'll see what that means in Design Space. So I'm going to leave it at that. Smooth, stack, and remove the background. And I'm going to hit OK. And when you see the image pop up over here in this little side menu of your Trace Bitmap pop-up menu, then you know that it's done the tracing. So you're going to come over here and click on the image. And if you just drag your cursor, you'll pull a top image off. That top image is your SVG file. That's the one you want to save. So then you're going to go back and click on this other image, which would have been the bottom layer, and you're going to delete that. That was your PNG file or JPEG or whatever it was that you imported into Inkscape. You want to get rid of that. So now you're going to go up to File, and you're going to hit Save. And as you see on this bottom pull-down menu here, it says an Inkscape SVG. That should work fine. Every now and then I have issues with Design Space not doing it, and I have to resave it, but hopefully it'll work this time. So I'm going to just name it Believe 4. So I've been playing with it. I have a bunch of these particular files saved, and I'm going to hit Save. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here to Design Space. Then I'm going to go to Upload, and then hit Upload Image, Browse, and right there is my Believe 4 SVG, so I'm going to hit Open, and it came across. So we're just going to save that. Now I'm going to import it into my software. I'm going to blow it up a little bit so you can see. Okay. Pretty simple, pretty similar to the file here, but when we did all the layer cuts in Inkscape, some of those I'm going to want to get rid of, some of them I'm going to want to keep. So if you look over here in your pull-down menu, here's the name of the SVG file, Believe 4, and then you have your different layers underneath it. So what I want to do is ungroup my layers so that I can see them. And you can start pulling your layers apart so you can figure out what you want to keep, if you want to weld anything. So the first thing I want to do is start with my red letters because they're the biggest. So I want to find a layer. If you notice on the E at the end of the original file, the white from the hat is kind of centered here in the middle, and then there's the little white to go on the tip of it. I want a belief file that's going to have that complete E. So see this lighter pinkish maroon color here? The entire hat is kind of framed in there, whereas some of these other layers, let me grab one of the red ones. See how this red layer here has some breakage within the layers? I'm not going to keep that one, so I'm just going to delete that one out. And this E here is completely missing that center piece. And I don't think it does anything if sometimes I'll layer them together so that I can see if I need to merge the files. Now the other thing we have to pay attention to up here is the red reindeer nose. So this red nose on this particular one is not going to, doesn't look like it's going to turn off when I go into the contour. So I'm going to hang on to this red one for just a minute because I might need that nose piece. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. Now, the only letters that we want in red are the B and the E's, and then the reindeer, which I'm not sure if that's going to work on that contour. So when you want to turn off images in a file, or when you want to turn off specific images within an image, you're going to go to contour. So I want the B and I want the E. I don't want the reindeer ears, so I'm going to turn that off. I don't want the Christmas tree. I don't want the eye. I don't want the snowflake on the eye, and I don't want the tips of the snowflake. I don't know what that turned off. Oh, that turns off that B. I need to keep that on. Okay, so those are little pieces of the E's. This is the Santa hat. There's more pieces of the E's. I want to turn these pieces off, so I'm going to come over here and just turn them off individually. I need to turn that little guy off on that reindeer ear, and that should be fine. So close out the contour, and there I have my B and the E's the way that I want them. Now I need to get the eye and the reindeer antlers. So here's a file that has the reindeer antlers cut so the nose can go underneath it. Now if you notice on here there's some obscure, there's a piece right there and a piece right there. So you want to go into contour and turn those pieces off as well. Just get rid of them. Now you have the reindeer ear and your eye. Christmas tree. I just want my green Christmas tree. So I'm going to take this particular piece here, go to contour, and I'm going to turn everything off except for the Christmas tree. There's still two pieces right there I missed. That took care of it. Yep. Right, now we need to get the reindeer nose. So there's one of two ways you can do this. You can either go into contour and turn everything off, which is what I'm going to do, or you can take a shape, import like a circle, and slice out that. But since I've showed you how to do contour, I'll actually show you how to do it that way. So you want to take your circle, and you're going to make the size of the reindeer nose without touching the antlers. Then you just hit, select the whole thing and hit slice. Now I have my red reindeer nose. I'm going to put there. And then I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so the final thing that we have to do, I'm going to change this to red so everybody can see, and then I'm going to change this nose to red so it would all be together. Final thing we need to do is add the white that's behind this E here. So I'm going to duplicate the B's and the E's again. Now this time I want to do the opposite in the contour. I want this entire E turned off except for that piece of the hat and that white piece there. I'm going to turn this B and these E's off and most of that B. So then the Cricut will cut just that white piece. So you can see here's the hat, here's the entire E. So I'm going to turn him off, but just that piece is on and that piece is on. And come over here and turn everything else off. There's the Santa hat. I'm going to turn that off. So when you're working, you can have like show the E there so that you make sure you don't turn off. There's that tiny piece there. So everything else is done. And then I'm going to change the color to white. And move it up over the letters. And there you go. Now it's pretty much exactly the way that it was on the original one. Now what you would probably want to do is take this, actually I would probably do it this way, move the, get your letters lined up the way that you want them. And I would probably weld the E's, the B, the E's together so that the spacing is right, and you have your little reindeer nose. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move. I just wanted to get my reindeer ear the proper place. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to highlight these and weld them. And then you can add your reindeer ear and your eye back, your Christmas tree back, and then the white back. So then when you have it lined up the way that you want, you just hit make it. Actually, what I'm going to do is temporarily turn this one off. So that I only have the one new file. And you hit make it, and you'll see there's your white. Oh, I needed to turn that one off. Get rid of all these excess files, and that way they won't come up in your mat when you go to make it. So there's your hat, there's your believe, there's your reindeer ears and the eye with the snowflake, and your Christmas tree. So the Cricut would individually cut each of these colors, and then you would lay it on your press and press it on your shirt, or if you were wanting to do something else with it, it would cut each one of those vinyl colors separate, and then you would be able to add it to whatever it is that you're wanting to do. We've done these on t-shirts, and I've made glass signs with them as well. So that's how you import an image into Inkscape and convert it to an SVG file so that it'll come into your Cricut Design Space and cut individual colors.